Welcome back to Apex Alchemy. Today we wanted to talk about some differences in the 0560 and the 562. They're very similar models. Both of them are based off of the XM18, which is a Hinderer custom, or I guess it's really it can be a custom. It can also be, I guess people consider it a mid-tech, and it's like a Hinderer production knife as well. They can get really pricey. They can be $425. Which I mean $425 can be pretty pricey, but anyway, I believe the 560 did come first. I'm not really sure what happened why they decided to do the 562. Well, the 562 has got what they consider to be the slicer grind. I can't honestly tell much of a difference in the grinds myself, but I'm not an expert. It may be just a little thinner. I know this is like 150,000s and this is like 160,000s.
Thickness or whatever.
Yeah, that's the spine. And I'm assuming both of them kind of work their way down. But regardless, I do like both the knives. Both of them are G10 titanium. The 560 has this like what I kind of call like the dragon scale or the fish scale. Texturing's got it all the way around, so it's G10 on the show side and titanium on the frame side or the lock side. Both have the lock bar stabilizer. Both do not have the over travel stop. Is that a hair or a scratch? It's a scratch, okay. But the 0562 had the over travel stop. Regardless, one thing that all right, this pocket clip is like your traditional Hinderer pocket clip. It's probably interchangeable with a lot of Hinderer pocket clips. It can be tip down or tip up, both sides. So like there's plenty of configurations there for you. I kind of wish they would have like did a little cutout so you could put the insert in there.
Yeah.
But this knife may have preceded
That design.
It may have. It may not have. I don't know. I don't remember when this knife came out. I do remember when I don't really remember when the 0562 came out. It was already out by the time I started playing. Like collecting knives. But this knife is only only going to be a tip up knife. But the way the pocket clip installs, it's being held in by this last backspacer, the standoff. So it can be flipped over to the other side as well. So it can be tip up, left or right, but you don't have a tip down option, which most people will be okay with. I think the pivot is a little bit more intricate on the 0562.
That's more dimples and stuff.
Yeah, it's like more standard hardware on the 0560. Both of these knives were originally available in LMAX. This is an LMAX model. This is a S35VN model.
What is LMAX? I don't think I've heard that steel before.
Man, it was a good steel. I'm not like an LMAX expert or anything, but it's like I hear a lot of people compare it to like S30V with a little less edge retention and a little more strength. And I don't know. I really actually haven't, looked up the composition or and all that stuff to actually see. I know it's a high chromium, high vanadium, high moly B.
Yeah.
Still, but I don't have a ton of experience with LMAX. Like to be to be a witness firsthand. But one thing I think the 0562 it needs more. Both of these knives had the opportunity to be able to ramp down on the G10 to the
to get more room for the lock.
Yeah.
To get to the lock.
Yeah, get some lock bar access. But the 0562 does have more access than the 0560. The 0560, I believe, is pretty flat and flush. And with it being jimped and fairly sharp. Not too sharp, but fairly sharp. You got to push.
A little more uncomfortable.
Yeah, you got to push in and push over, and it kind of it's a little bit more uncomfortable. It doesn't really bother me, but that might be something that you might want to consider if you're looking at one of these to buy. Negatives, I really like. I think both of them are great built. I'm not sure why both of them exist, and these aren't the only ones. There's a 561 and a 566, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many.
Only one difference I can see that wasn't necessarily addressed is this one definitely has a little thicker back end than this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's one of the only differences.
And it's got a lanyard. The 560 on top, it has a lanyard hole. The 562 doesn't. I'm not generally a lanyard carrier anyway, so like that kind of detail doesn't really bother me.
Some people.
The what do they call them? I just said it.
Lanyard.
No, not the backspacer. The standoffs. Oh. The standoff configuration on the 0562 is actually closer to like the XM18, and as to where they are. But this knife was actually designed around the XM18. Both of them obviously have like XM18 DNA, but the 0560 comes a lot closer to being XM18, like a ZT version of XM18. Kind of like the way I see it is kind of like the Hinderer Eclipse. ZT did a custom 0392 for ZT, and it was a lot closer to being an Eclipse than the 0393, which was and to be honest, I'm not sure exactly what these knives have been around forever. So like the original prices probably would have been maybe less than $100. I'm not sure, but I do I have seen people on forums talk about when 0562 first come out, they were like, I just don't see $120 in this knife, and I just I think it's funny because it's like it's not like that much time has passed. And,
right.
They're ridiculous now. I mean they're not really ridiculous, but the inflation has gone up so much that everything's kind of ridiculous all at once.
Yeah.
Almost everything. For these are hard use knives, and both of these are USA made, and I give mad props to ZT for the things they used to build, and both of these knives are testament to the overbuilt tank days. But it still be half for $99. It's a 4 Max Scout. I'm not trying to sell it to you or anything. I'm just saying, like a overbuilt tank.
Yeah.
When I think overbuilt tank, I usually don't. ZT is not the first thing that comes to mind most of the time. Because that's a 10-inch bad boy right there. I even have to do some camera adjusting. And it's not, that's an AUS 10A, which is pretty much the same thing as 154 CM, which, I would say that LMAX has got to be like whenever I hear people talk about it, having a little less edge retention than S30V and a little tougher, that gets my mind into the CPM 154 range. And
around that time period too.
Yeah, and so like that 4 Max Scout up there, it's an AUS 10A. It doesn't have all the amenities. It doesn't have a lot of flashy stuff going on with the scale work or anything, but it does offer a great, excellent grip, and it's a hard use knife. Look at that lock. Look how thick that lock is. So I only bring that in because the prices on everything is going up dramatically, and it's hard to find a good hard use knife for a good price anymore. But
yeah, of course the Scout is made in Taiwan.
That's right. Yeah. Now, if you want a USA version of that, they don't make it anymore. They can still be had on the secondhand market, but normally, you're looking at upwards of $700. Mm-hmm. It's not and I'm not saying that's always the case. They did make an Italian version of the 4 Max as well, and with the same steel, which was CPM 20CV, and it was pretty much the same knife, just a different color, different finishes. The titanium frame lock. I'm sorry, the titanium lock, which it's titanium frame, which still has the triad lock, and it can be found on the second hand for around $400 mark now, and about $400 is what you're still going to give for a 4MAX in that's made in Taiwan with S35VN still. And I'm not saying they're not worth it, but Midway USA, anybody's watching this video and happens to care, Midway USA does have one in stock right now that's blemished for like $240, which I think is an excellent. It's a little bit more dressed up than that one, and it's got a better, supposedly a better steel. I don't have a lot of experience with AUS 10, but the way Cold Steel does their AUS 8, I'm not scared of it.
Right.
I'm not scared of it at all. So as far as like another option for a heavy duty hard use knife, like in today's inflation world, not a bad choice.
No.
And we'll do another video on that. But I guess we can wrap this video. Do you have any? Do you see any other? Let me flip these knives around. I would like to know if any of you guys know in the comments, like, do you remember when these knives first come out? How many years difference were these knives? Like has this knife been out for? I mean, like, I know it's discontinued. They don't make the 560 anymore, which it kind of leaves me scratching my head because it's more knife. Mm-hmm. Not, I mean, as far as the numbers go, like the 0560's got a 3.75 inch LMAX blade, and the 0562 can still be had. It's usually 20 CV, and it's 3.5 inches. So we're talking about a 1/4 inch difference in the blade, probably about a 1/2 inch difference overall length. What you got, 8.8 and like 8.6 overall lengths there. So do you, like, anybody out there know
why they felt they needed to do both of these, and how long,
or why they discontinued the wrong one? Like, I mean, another big difference is the jimping. Like, that's this 0560 has got plenty of it, and it feels really good. And I can't front flip the knife, and on most of these Hinderers, this is supposed to be a thumb stud anyway. But like, well, I guess I can. I was gonna say well, shit.
You won't be able to do it that way.
Yeah. But I can, I can reverse flip it, and all this stuff's a little easier off camera, except for front flipping. That's the first time I've actually done it successfully. Yeah, see, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm squeezing on the frame bar or whatever. But regardless, man, it seems like, in my humble opinion, they discontinued the wrong knife.
I see one other minute difference.
Tell me about it.
The clip on this one is coming straight down that lock. You put the clip going up that way on that one.
Keep it off the lock bar. Yeah. That's probably smart. And that may be what's going on here is they come out with that knife, and they were like, we can make some changes. Because I know it's like based off the slicer, and that's based off the XM18. So I mean, like, both of them are XM18s, but yeah, I don't know. It'd be kind of cool if the 560 was still like stuck around. Maybe they made some adjustments, like, to how things were made, and or add some of these amenities that the 0560 has to the 0562.
Yeah,
like more jimping and stuff like that. Like, both of them have a nice clean flow through design. But anyway, this video is long enough. Just wanted to like get the video out and kind of introduce the 0560 to the collection, and put our thoughts into it. But you guys have a great rest of your afternoon. We are going to get back to some spring cleaning, or we may just do a video on the 4MAX and be done with some spring cleaning for the day. How about that?
No, I'm not done.
You're not done? Well, okay. We'll get back to work eventually then. We'll catch you on the flip side.